When as a lad of 1 or 2 years, my most familiar actions were to nurse, to pee, and make tears. I remember little of that infant stage while slowly crawling to a later age. I remember once while lying on my bed, someone leaning over me and saying words so soft and sweet, but all I wanted was something to eat. I have no idea the identity of this kind soul, whether a stranger, my mother, or grandmother so very old. As I grew older and began to crawl, the world was my oyster. I wanted it all. Father bought a stroller with 4 wheels, so Daddy it was the best of deals. Now I could follow Mom about her chores, except when she closed the doors. But I had free rein about the room, but for kitty cat's tails I was pure doom. When evening time came and all settled down to rest, I was laid aside so to not be a pest. I remember the events of those early days, though some of them seemed to hover in a bit of haze. One memory stands out. It was early morning, and we went out. And there was a wagon with horses and a team. The air was frosty, and the horses were lean. My mother was seated in the wagon so high, and I was passed to her and began to cry. Grandmother leaned over me and whispered in my ears, saying, "Shush, little baby, please have no fears." Dad climbed high on the wagon seat, and taking the reins, he planted his feet, and in a clear voice exclaimed with a shout, "Get up, team, step out." And how the wagon began to roll forward on the gravel road. They moved easily as we had no load. It was only a mile or so on our way to town, though seems like through fields all harvested and earth so brown. And midway we crossed a bridge made of steel. I was so frightened with the noise on it made by my wheels. But I decided that was a fun day for me, and I was going to look for new things to see. Just remember that on this third page, I was only 2 years of age. But soon we drove into a town and circled the square, and my goodness, it looked like everyone was there. There were other wagons with their team, but also farm tractors and automobiles so keen. I looked everywhere and twisted in Mom's arms till she squeezed and said, "Larry, stop, you'll be the death of me." But oh, it was a glorious day. We shopped and walked till Mom needed to sit, and I think that's when I threw a fit. I wanted to go and see more of the sights, setting a precedent for future days and nights. And the sun began to set low, and Grandpa and Dad returned and said, "We need to go. You see, at home we had animals to attend, all the many chores of day's end. So we loaded back in the wagon and headed out with a yell. 'Gee, over there, Dan, come up, Nell.' And I went to sleep on the way home, dreaming of adventures I would someday own. But that steady crunch of steel wheels on a gravel road will always be a memory waiting to load."